So, we are finally at that turning point as Walking Dead fans. The fact that we have gotten to the point where we have Michonne and Daryl acting as the main focus of a singular episode that tells us the origin of those X marks that they have on their backs and what it is that they did in order to receive them. So, as I've talked about before on my channel, these X marks could be related to anything. And I feel like a lot of people in this community would not have guessed the murder of innocent, if not psychopathic children as the main culprit to what happened to these children and what caused these X's on our two main characters' backs. And I feel like that is one of the reasons this episode is, in fact, one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead that we have seen, not only throughout season 9, but throughout the entire show of The Walking Dead. Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's kind of crazy to me that we are in an era of The Walking Dead that is completely devoid of people like Rick Grimes or Carl Grimes or maybe even anyone that we would imagine being related to the OG characters outside of Daryl and Carol, and yet you can have an episode related almost specifically to a character that was introduced at the very end of season 2 and introduced in terms of a real actress playing the role in season 3 in Michonne, and have her be the main focus of an episode that, for any longtime fan, or maybe any fan that has given up on the television show as of late, to go back, reintroduce himself to what has been going on without any real context, and see that the episode in particular, the writing for this season as a whole, the characters and everything else is on another level than it has been in the last couple years. This episode focuses almost entirely on Michonne's character, with not only Judith, but also RJ as a character and Daryl as a character. What are they going through after the loss of Rick Grimes? It doesn't even matter what is going on with the Whispers in this episode. It doesn't matter the relationship between Henry and Lydia or anything else that's going on over the last couple weeks. The big thing here is the fact that we are going to finally explore these X's, not only on Michonne's back, but Daryl's back as well. What ultimately dark thing that they have to do together in order to gain these X's on their back? Nobody knows what they did, and how did they live with it? And this is something that they've been telling us over the last couple of weeks that we are going to get an answer to, and we're going to understand what it is to live in this future, in this zombie apocalypse. And I have to say, this episode really brings the force. These characters not only have to go out and kill people their age, they finally have to go out and kill people who are half, maybe a third of the age of them. We are no longer in the disposable character range that we were in the last 2 seasons, when we had people with Negan and people standing with Negan being completely taken out like cannon fodder, where we had just gun battles and people going out of their way to kill just normal people or just people we had no idea who they were in gun battles. We have Daryl and Michonne and all these other people taking out freaking children. That's huge. I have to say this with the utmost respect. The concept of Michonne and Daryl taking out children and living with it, not telling anybody else about what they did and what they did to protect the communities that they were living with. And I guess what they did was stopping a growing army from picking up the pieces and figuring out how to interact with these communities that Rick Grimes and Michonne and Daryl and all these other characters fought to protect. But just in general, this growing army to grow up and realize that the best way to survive was to destroy everything that the characters that we've been watching over the last couple seasons and just mercilessly destroy everything that they had built over the last couple seasons. And then focusing an entire episode on the characters that we love and respect, like Michonne and Daryl, and showing how they dealt with this situation, how they fought the idea of killing children, killing the future of society, the future of humanity, and then justifying it for themselves after everything that was said and done to protect not only their lineage, but the lineage of their community, and come back and fight those children and fight that ideology and come back and understand who they are as individuals. That's something that I feel is worth so much praise with this television show. I feel like so few television shows that I watch these days that get as far as The Walking Dead has gotten in recent years. 9 seasons in, 8 seasons in, 10 seasons in, whatever it might be, just completely give up. And they treat their characters, they treat their audiences in the worst way possible. These characters, this situation, everything is so predictable, and it's going to turn out exactly how you expect. And I don't think that The Walking Dead is trying to do that at all. You have main characters surviving interactions and are being used to the best of their ability, and also doing episodes like this one where they take time out of the busy schedule and telling the story that they have to tell with the Whisperers and everything that they've been doing over the last couple weeks, to take breath and explain to you why Michonne has been the way that she's been over the last couple episodes in The Walking Dead, why Daryl decided to take some time between working with everyone and being a complete recluse during the 6-year time skip that we took between Rick Grimes leaving The Walking Dead and where we are now in The Walking Dead franchise. This show has decided to treat every single fan, as crazy as it might sound, like an intellectual person, and treating them with the idea that these characters have these thoughts for these reasons, and we don't really have to explore why they have those thoughts because of this reason or anything else like that. This television show has decided to treat characters like they deserve to be treated, like real human beings, and the fact that we don't have to judge what this character is thinking at any given time. We do not have to go back and speculate what this character was thinking amongst like the last 6 years, or what's going on between one character or another, or anything else like that. Giving it to us point blank, this is what's happening, this is what these characters are all about, and this is what has been forming our characters ever since the major time jump that we saw in episode 6 of this series. I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons that I'm going to stick with this show, is that they're treating the fans like they deserve to be treated. In fact, most episodes in this season and everything that I've seen for the future of The Walking Dead is going to treat the fans as they deserve to be treated, with the utmost respect and intelligence that comes with the knowledge of what's going on, not only with The Walking Dead, but Fear the Walking Dead as well. And I cannot wait to see what they give to us in the interim. But with this episode, I feel like it's absolutely essential watching for any Walking Dead fan, and for anyone who has given up on the Walking Dead series as a whole. People who gave up in season 7 or season 8, maybe even season 6, go back and watch this episode, because it doesn't need any real knowledge of what's going on in particular, other than the fact that Rick Grimes himself has disappeared from the equation, and Michonne and Rick had a baby together. That's all you really need to know, and yet it is still a fantastic show. Knowing just simply that, and figuring out that season 9 is just a completely other level when it comes to The Walking Dead. I cannot wait to see what they come up with over the last 2 episodes of this season. I really hope that they bring their A game, but we're just going to have to wait and see that. Other than that, and I know this isn't really a typical review for this channel, but really other than that, I really have to say there's nothing that I really hated about this episode. The concept of Lydia and Henry, Connie and Daryl going to Alexandria makes a ton of sense. We didn't focus too much on that, and the fact that they were going to leave Alexandria. We know, just being a fan of this franchise as a whole, knowing the logistics of Melissa McBride, also Norman Reedus, we know that these characters are going to stay on over the next couple of years, so we know that they're not going to leave anytime soon. So it's not really that shocking that they survived, or that they're going to go to Alexandria and they're not going to run away. In particular, they're going to fight the Whisperers, and this is going to be the main focus of the next season and everything related to these characters. But at the same time, I'm okay with that. I understand what they're doing. I want to see how this progresses, because what they're doing right now is something that I very much gravitate towards. It's something that I want to continue to express my enthusiasm for, and it's one of the things that I want to make sure that every fan of The Walking Dead supports in their utmost sincerity, that the stories, the characters, and everything else that they're supporting right now, that they're trying to tell, is the most important factor of every single episode. People like Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Henry, Lydia, and everything else that they're trying to focus on every single episode is the most important thing that they focus on every single episode. The Walking Dead is nothing if not for its characters, and not focusing on people like Michonne or Daryl or Carol or anybody else that has been there for a very long time. Even characters that we've gotten to know and respect and love over the last couple episodes or last couple of seasons, like Tara or Henry or Lydia or anybody else. I feel like not doing that and focusing too much on just spectacle or firefights or anything else that they've been doing over the last couple seasons really impacts a show like this. We need to focus on these characters. We need to focus on why it's important to continue watching a television show that is as depressing and as focused as The Walking Dead. And the only way to do that is to continually support the creative team, the characters, the actors, and everyone else involved here. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. And also do not forget to go down to the description section below, hit that link, and go subscribe or follow me on Twitter. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.